And that's it. This wind is coming up there. He got it there. He's got it. He's got it.
The crowd holds its breath. Arnold Palmer steps to the first tee at Cherry Hills, grips his driver, and rips a massive shot, a 346-yard drive that flies over the bunker and shocks the gallery. It is the final round of the 1960 US Open, and Palmer is charging from 7 shots back. Before the trophies, before the nickname The King, before the world ever tasted an Arnold Palmer drink, he was just a rough-edged kid with a fierce swing and a fire no one could explain. What was it about him? What made fans roar and follow him hole after hole, turning quiet fairways into electric battlegrounds? This is not just the story of a golfer, it is the story of how one man crashed the gates of golf's old world and changed it forever. But how did it all begin, and how did it almost slip away? The boy grips the tiny club, his small hands rough from chores, his eyes locked on the ball. This is not a child's game, not in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, where money is tight and expectations tighter. Arnold Palmer's father, Milfred, is the head greenskeeper at the local country club, but that does not mean they belong inside the clubhouse. Arnold learns early, you work, you sweat, you swing. But here is where the story twists. Palmer did not just survive this tough blue-collar start, he thrived. By 5, he was playing full rounds. By 9, he was shooting 45 over 9 holes. By 1947, he stunned his region by winning the Western Pennsylvania Junior Championship and the Western Pennsylvania Amateur Championship, the only player ever to pull off that double victory in the same year. He would go on to win 5 Pennsylvania amateur titles, his teenage years marked by domination on local fairways and a nearly unbeaten record in high school matches. Yet despite all the wins, Arnold often felt like an outsider, a kid chasing bigger dreams while shouldering his father's expectations and the weight of coming from the wrong side of the country club fence. Then came Bud Worsham, the friend who changed everything. Already a golf star at Wake Forest College, Bud urged Palmer to apply for a scholarship there. For the first time, Palmer had an escape, a path forward. Together they conquered the college circuit, their dreams expanding with every win, but tragedy shattered that dream. Bud died suddenly in a car crash, leaving Palmer grief-stricken. Devastated and unable to focus, Arnold walked away from college and enlisted in the Coast Guard. It was a shocking, risky detour that could have buried his golf career forever. Yet through it all, Palmer's passion never died. In 1954, he stormed back onto the scene, capturing the U.S. Amateur Championship in a nail-biting finish against British amateur champion Robert Sweeney. This was not a fairy tale rise, it was marked by grief, pressure, and the weight of loss. But even through heartbreak, Palmer's love for the game never left. What drives a young man to pick up the pieces after losing his best friend? And how does he turn that pain into the fire that would change golf forever? The roar of the crowd, flashbulbs popping. Young and hungry, Arnold Palmer turned pro in 1955, and within months, he shocked the golfing world by winning the Canadian Open with a stunning 265. A one-hit wonder? Not even close. By 1956, Palmer was stacking victories: Insurance City Open, Eastern Open, Panama Open, and Columbia Open. In 1957, he added Houston, Azalea, Rubber City, and San Diego, ending the year as America's top money winner. He was becoming golf's first rock star. Fans packed the ropes. They chanted Arnie, Arnie in waves that shook the fairways. But not everyone cheered. Older pros grumbled, "He is too showy, too aggressive." Media started hinting, is Palmer style over substance? Even Palmer felt it, the weight of fame pressing on his shoulders. Then came 1950, Augusta, the Masters. Palmer stepped up and captured his first green jacket, along with the PGA Player of the Year title. But with victory came pressure. Suddenly, everyone expected magic. In 1960, under Augusta's fierce sun, Palmer faced crunch time. 3 holes left, 1 birdie to tie, 2 to win. On the 17th, he drained a 25-foot putt. On the 18th, calm as ever, he stuck the approach and rolled in the win. But the year's biggest drama was yet to come. At the US Open at Cherry Hills, Palmer stormed back from 7 shots behind in the final round, birdieing 6 of the first 7 holes. He shot a blazing 65 to snatch the title, an electric surge the press soon called the Palmer Charge. And just as Palmer was peaking, a young powerhouse emerged, Jack Nicklaus. Nicklaus, the stocky, methodical Golden Bear, was everything Palmer was not. Calm where Arnie was fiery, calculating where Arnie was fearless. Fans picked sides. You were either Arnie's army or a Nicklaus backer. In 1962, their rivalry exploded onto the world stage at the US Open at Oakmont. Palmer, the local hero from nearby Latrobe, Pennsylvania, was the crowd's darling. Nicklaus, just 22, was the rising star with ice in his veins. They clashed in an 18-hole playoff, and to the shock and heartbreak of Palmer's fans, Nicklaus beat him. The loss stung. Palmer admitted later that the pressure from his fans and the media was crushing. It was not just about me and Jack, it was about what everyone expected. But Palmer bounced back. In 1962, he claimed 2 British Open titles, proving he could conquer foreign soil, and added another Masters win. That year's Masters saw another signature Palmer charge, a wild chip-in on 16, a birdie on 17, and a playoff win the next day. Between 1960 and 1963, Palmer racked up 29 titles across national and international competitions. The fans crowned him the King of Golf, but behind the scenes, the Nicklaus rivalry was gnawing at him. For every Palmer win, Jack was closing in. Nicklaus would eventually outpace him in major titles. Still, in those early years, Palmer's swagger, charisma, and fearless play lit up the sport. In 1964, Palmer crushed Augusta again, winning his 4th Masters by 6 shots. Calm under pressure, ruthless. But the whispers never stopped. How long could Arnie hold off the Golden Bear? By 1967, Palmer had notched his 3rd Vardon Trophy and became the first pro golfer to earn $1 million. He led Ryder Cup teams, dominated the new senior PGA Tour, and even won the inaugural World Match Play Championship, a tournament crafted just for him. And in 2004, he stood on Augusta's first tee for the 50th straight time, greeted by roaring crowds decades after his first win.
Yes, he was disappointing the first 3 days, only had 1 birdie on his card, first 3 rounds.
And sails down the middle of the fairway.
I'm going to wait, Troy. I might catch one.
When you become a king, how long can you hold the crown before the next challenger takes it from your hands? Arnold Palmer was not just a golfer, he was a showman, a risk-taker, a crowd magnet who brought golf to the people. Muhammad Ali was not just a boxer, he was poetry in motion, a fighter whose speed, charm, and words shook the world. Both men became legends far beyond their sports. Palmer won 62 PGA Tour events and 7 majors, building Arnie's army and tearing down golf's country club image. Ali claimed 56 wins and 3 heavyweight titles, calling himself the greatest and backing it up. Palmer attacked pins, Ali floated and struck. Palmer warmed hearts, Ali split opinions, but both faced rivals who pushed them to greatness. Palmer had Nicklaus, Ali had Frazier and Foreman. So who left the bigger mark, the king of the fairways or the king of the ring? Arnold Palmer's life off the course was filled with love, but also profound loss. In 1954, the same year he won the U.S. National Amateur Championship, he also met Winnie Walzer, the woman who would become his wife, partner, and anchor for 45 years. Winnie stood by him through the roaring crowds, the airport rushes, and the long practice days. Together they raised 2 daughters, Peggy and Amy. Palmer often said, "For more than 4 decades, Winnie managed our home, followed my career, raised 2 beautiful girls, and injected a calming sense of normalcy into my otherwise hectic and demanding life." But in 1999, everything changed. Winnie passed away from ovarian cancer, leaving Arnold heartbroken. Her death left a hole no trophy could fill. Beyond golf, Palmer poured himself into charity. He built Arnie's Army Charitable Foundation to help children, mothers, and families. Hospitals like the Winnie Palmer Hospital for Women and Babies carry her name. Even Tiger Woods' children were born there, but while Palmer's public image shone, few knew the quiet battles he fought. Early in his career, he feared flying. Instead of avoiding it, Palmer faced it head-on. He became a pilot. Over 55 years, he logged nearly 20,000 flight hours, and in 1999, his hometown airport was renamed Arnold Palmer Regional Airport. Flying became his personal escape, a space where he could slip away from the noise. His grandson, Sam Saunders, inherited the family's love for golf. Though Sam has yet to match Arnold's towering success, he proudly carries the Palmer name on the PGA Tour, chasing his own path under the long shadow of a legend. But even with family pride and business success, Palmer was not immune to controversy. In 1997, he and Tiger Woods sued a sports memorabilia company for misusing their signatures. A fight that backfired when the jury sided against Palmer, awarding damages to the company. And then there were the whispers about his past. Ken Venturi, a respected player, accused Palmer of bending the rules during his 1958 Masters win, using a disputed drop that helped secure victory by a single stroke. Palmer always defended himself. "I followed the rules in both letter and spirit." In the end, what did Arnold Palmer have to give up behind the scenes to hold on to his place as the king? Arnold Palmer was not just winning on the golf course, he was winning off it too. He owned Bay Hill Club in Orlando, where the PGA Tour still plays the Arnold Palmer Invitational. He helped launch the Golf Channel, giving fans a 24/7 home for golf on TV. When golf started growing in China, Palmer was one of the first to design courses there, with his company creating over 300 layouts across 5 continents. That is like designing golf playgrounds all over the world. But it did not stop there. Palmer bought the Latrobe Country Club, the same place where his father once worked, bringing his story full circle. He ran Arnold Palmer Enterprises, turning his name into a powerful brand. Ever had an iced tea mixed with lemonade? That is called Arnold Palmer. It became a mass-market hit starting in 2001. The king endorsed everything from Rolex watches to Pennzoil motor oil. He even owned car dealerships. But here is the twist. Palmer was picky. He only put his name on things he truly believed in. Even if companies waved big checks at him, he would say no if he did not trust the product. That honesty made his name even stronger. People knew if Palmer backed it, it was the real deal. By the time Arnold passed away in 2016, his fortune was valued at $875 million. But golf fans still ask today, with all the business deals, sponsors, and money, was it still about the love of the game, or did the business side become its own kind of competition? Arnold Palmer did not just win, he transformed golf. With 62 PGA Tour victories and 7 majors, he stood alongside great players like Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, and Sam Snead. Could Palmer compete today at Augusta, the PGA, or the Open against players like Scottie Scheffler, Jon Rahm, or Rory McIlroy? Maybe he would not outdrive them, but his heart, flair, and roar never go out of style. So ask yourself, does Arnold Palmer still belong on golf's Mount Rushmore? And if you think so, stick around. The legends are just getting started.